In this video, I'm going to show you how to adjust the AEJuice pack manager inside of Adobe After Effects. So let's get into it. So the first way of customizing the pack manager is to change the language. So we'll go into Account, go into Settings, and you can see if we go down to Language, we can see that it is default set to same as Adobe After Effects. So if your system is set to English, it will be English. If it's Polish, it will be Polish. AEJuice will just mimic whatever language After Effects is using. But if you did want to change this, or if it was set to the wrong language for some reason, then you can just scroll through and select one of these options. Now AEJuice has got mine absolutely correct. My system is set to English and AEJuice is also set to English. So I'm just going to keep mine set to same as Adobe After Effects. Next up, I'm going to show you how to resize the plugin. So in order to resize the plugin, all you have to do is just drag one of these corners to resize this. So it might load up just in the corner, small like this, but you can just resize this by dragging a corner. You can drag a side, you can drag the top down or up, you can drag the bottom down or up. It's completely up to you, but you can fill the screen with this if you wanted, or just have it tiny in the corner. Now, next up, we can talk about the preview size. So if I go into one of these packs here, so let's go Monster Transitions. As you can see down here, we've got this slider. So if I pull this all the way to the left, we've got these really small previews. But if I pull this all the way to the right, we've got these much larger previews. Now, of course, if you just wanted a really quick glance at what's available in each pack, then you can just have this set to the smallest number or the smallest value on the slider. And then if you wanted to look at something in more detail, just zoom all the way in and then just navigate to that specific preset or animation. By default, though, it should be set to somewhere in the middle, so you get a generally decent view at everything available to you. Now, next up, I'm actually going to stay in this folder, in the Monster Transitions folder, because there is a lot happening. And the problem is, to some users, this might end up being a little bit distracting. So that's where we can play and pause these animations. So the keyboard shortcut, as I mentioned in a keyboard shortcut episode, is to just press the spacebar. Or alternatively, you can just go to the bottom left and select pause or play. When it's paused, everything will be frozen, but when you hover over a specific animation, that one will animate. So if you feel like this is just a little bit too much and you can't concentrate on what's happening, then just pause and just hover over the animations one by one to find an animation that you want to play with. Now, next up, as you can see, we've got all of these folders up here. So if we go into each individual product, you can see we've got basic, complex. In this one, Monster Transition, we've got all of these. But at the moment, it's quite narrow. So if we wanted to expand the width of this, then all we have to do is just drag this over to the right just to extend the size of this. You can make it smaller, you can make it larger. It's completely up to you. Then, of course, up here on the top here, you've got all of these products. So these are all of our tabs. So let's open a few of these tabs. Let's get loads open. There we go. So we've got loads of tabs now open. So we've got Monster Transitions, Liquid Transitions, Titles, Connected Typography, and Animated Emoji. Now, if we wanted to, we don't have to have them in this order. We can just drag one of these tabs over just to move this to wherever we want. So if you're jumping into Liquid Transitions the most, then keep this at the left. You can drag this one over again and just reorganize this the way that you want to work this. The beauty with the pack manager is it is completely customizable and it can really help to work with your workflow. So if you wanted your most used folders on the left, then you can just do that. Or if you wanted your most used on the right, then just drag them over to the right. It's completely up to you and your creative workflow. Then, of course, if we go back to the main product tab, so I'm just going to close down all of these options. You can see we've got all of these purchased packs over here. But of course, if you wanted to move the order of these around, then all you have to do is just move them like this. So you can just drag and drop them to wherever you like. So again, you can group these if you wanted to. So you could put the transition packs next to each other, the text packs next to each other, or you could put your most used packs in the top left or the bottom right. It's completely up to you, and you can completely organize this the way that you like. And then of course, you saw me do it a second ago, but if we open up a few tabs, so let's go for 3 tabs. In order to close a tab down, you can either press the X button or you can go Command W and W, and that will close down each individual tab. Now let's go into the settings section and look at some more customization settings. So we'll go Account, settings, and down here you can see we've got display items count in folder. So if we turn this off and press OK, you can see this has disappeared. So basic transform, if that is turned on, you can see basic transform has 28, 24, 3, 5. They've all got a certain amount of animations within that each folder. But if we go into account and settings and we turn this off, then that would disappear like this. You've also got display items names. So if we turn this off as well, it's just going to delete all of those names. So as you can see, none of these presets now have a name attached to them. So if we turn this back on, you can see they've all got this name underneath. But if you didn't need that for any reason and you just wanted to look at how they look, then you can just turn this off like this. It looks a little bit cleaner, but you don't realize what they're called. So if you wanted to take full advantage of the search feature, then that can be a little bit annoying. So that's up to you whether you keep that on or off. Then you've got display savings. And if you look up here in the top left, it says total saved $200 or 4 hours. So you can turn that off by just turning that off. And this total saved is just a fun feature inside of AEJuice to say, by using these presets, this is how much time you would have saved if you did this manually animating, and then it's giving you an hourly rate of a certain amount of money to say, if you were charging this much, this is what you would have charged for this amount of time to get this awesome preset animated by yourself. So it's a fun feature, but if you don't need it, you can get rid of it as well. Then you've got the display suggest feature button, and that is just down here. So if you wanted to get rid of this orange tab, turn this off, press OK, and it's gone. But I'm just going to show all of these. And then of course you've got the show edit controls window after import button, and that is the simple editor. So when you import a preset, if you keep that on, and then we'll go into a transitions pack. If I just import this first transition, it will come up with this simple editor with that now turned on. So there you go, you've got the simple editor window now turned on. But if we turn that off, so show edit controls window, we'll turn that off, import circle O2 transition, and now that will just import straight away and that edit window won't appear. But I'm just going to keep all of those turned on. And then of course at the bottom you've got the keep the plugin up to date option. So if you keep that selected, then AEJuice will install updates. So if you keep that selected, then AEJuice will install updates whenever there is an update required. I would suggest keeping this turned on because sometimes AEJuice fixes bugs or problems or adds new features. So if you keep that selected, you're always going to get the best experience possible. And then of course you can actually move this entire window around, or alternatively, if you just select AEJuice Pack Manager and drag that, you can actually dock this wherever you like. So now it's docked up here in the top left, so I can just come back to that very quickly and easily whenever I want this. Or if I wanted to undock that, then I would just select this hamburger icon and select undock panel and just expand this out like this. But there you go. Those are a few different ways of customizing the look and the usability of the AEJuice Pack Manager.